Perfect. All right, again, thank you so much. We are now in our July Power Hour, and we are excited for our guest speaker today. It's someone that I actually got to hear speak. We were just attending an event in Florida called Beyond the Aisle in the early summer, and some of what Chantel has shared with the audience that day, we actually took back to our venue and have utilized, and it has been a game changer. First of all, my name is Paul Petty. I am the co-founder of Venue Help Desk, along with Shannon Tarrant and my husband Ian Ramirez. Again, our goal for you guys, we really help you convert those leads into sales, but we also really are concerned about what's going into your funnel. So we help you with that too, making sure you get the right fit. So as you're getting to know Venue Help Desk, please follow us on Instagram, check out our website for those educational resources. I even have some freebies on there if you're needing some help at your venue currently. But with that said, I do want to introduce Shantel Campbell. She is with I Do Marketing. They are the wedding business marketing experts. And today she's going to be talking to you about a strategic approach to your venue photos. And I want to give it over to Chantel. So excited to have you.
Awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so glad to know that you were able to take some things from my presentation. I got some juicy stuff for you guys today, so I'm going to hop right in. This session is Snap Plan Profit, a strategic approach to your wedding venue photos. So this is like a pop quiz that I usually have on my Instagram story where I ask venues, what is your most important marketing tool? Is it A, SEO, B, your visual content, or C, your reviews? And overwhelmingly, I always get SEO. But your visual content, which is the photos and videos that you use to showcase your venue, is as important, if not more important, than your SEO. And it's especially important to be strategic about the photos that you're using across your wedding directory profiles, like your wedding wires, the knot, wedding venue map, your social media, and also your website. And if you don't believe me, I will show you the power of photos in action. So this is Tavares Pavilion on the Lake. That is a venue here in Florida. We did an overhaul of the photos on their website, and that resulted in 59 more clicks to their website from Wedding Wire. We didn't upgrade our profile. We didn't pay for an ad. All we did was update the photos. Next, this is a venue that I work with in Texas, and this is a venue that I work with in Nashville. We did an overhaul of the photos on their website, and that resulted in 11% more time spent on the website, 76% more views on their gallery, and 4% more leads. And again, no extra money was spent. All we did was be strategic about how we were highlighting the venue. And lastly, this is a venue called Howey Mansion. We tweaked the type of photos that we were highlighting on their social media, and it resulted in 60% more interactions, 27% more reach. So the posts were getting more reach, and 45% more clicks to their website. How would you like to improve and increase your website traffic and leads just by updating photos? I have seen that that can happen. And what I find is that a lot of venues have a set it and forget it mindset. You made your website years ago. You might update your wedding profiles once a year, and it's actually causing missed opportunities. But we're going to change that all today. My name is Shantel Campbell. I'm with I Do Marketing Group. I've been in the wedding industry for over 10 years, working in strategy, marketing, social media, and paid ads. I work with a host of venues in the Orlando area and some outside of the Orlando area. And I'm here to talk to you about how to be strategic about the photos that you use. So here's the plan. I am going to show you how to select your top marketing venue images. Then I'm going to give you a plan for how to acquire those images because I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but I'll give you a plan for that too. And then I'll chat about how you can get the results that I shared in the beginning, how you can be strategic and get more website traffic and leads by updating your photos. So if you want the presentation slides, you can scan this QR code, but it also will be at the end of the presentation. But you can Use your phone and scan that. And then I will dive in. So, identifying your top marketing venue images. Why do couples come to your venue? What makes your venue unique? That is called your unique selling proposition. That's what we call it in marketing. It is this distinctive combination of features that makes your venue stand out and compels couples to choose it for their wedding. And the best way to communicate your unique selling proposition is visually through your photos. So I'm going to help you identify your top marketing photos by asking you these 5 questions. And what I'm going to need for you today is to just think about the different weddings that you have, the photos that are on your website, the photos that are on your social media as you go through these questions. So, number one, what venue spaces do couples or photographers rave about when they come to your venue? Where is those must-have shots? To the left is a venue called Lake Mary Event Center, and they have beautiful floor-to-ceiling windows that let in natural light. Almost every ceremony at this venue happens in that space because that is the most photographed space. To the right is a venue called Casa Feliz. Almost every reception happens in that space because it's the most picturesque part of the venue. What is that space at your venue? Those photos should be highlighted prominently on your website and also your social media. Next, what spaces are unique to your venue? Do any of your venues have dinosaurs? Anyone? Maybe. I don't know, but here at the Orlando Science Center, there is a dinosaur, and couples love that. And what's great about having an image like that is you connect with a certain type of couple. Who would want to get married in a place where there's a dinosaur? Maybe an animal lover, maybe someone that's interested in science. To the right, you'll see a speakeasy photo. It's kind of this hidden speakeasy in a venue called Howey Mansion. And who does that connect with? That's the couple that might be interested in history. Maybe they're alcohol and wine connoisseurs. So something like that would be interesting to them, that would gravitate them to this venue. So what's also great about highlighting these unique spaces is that you can story tell around them. For example, the dinosaur, when did the Orlando Science Center get that dinosaur? Does it have a name? These type of things bring your venue to life. So think about those spaces. And I can give you an example of that for the photo on the right, the speakeasy. We actually had a content creator come to the venue and they did a reel that said when there's a hidden prohibition room underneath your wedding venue. And you'll be able to see how something as simple as a prohibition room kind of comes to life. So that's a short little reel, but you're able to see how that space that's unique is going to attract a certain type of couple that is interested in history, is excited about this idea of all the bridal party coming down to this hidden space and taking a photo and taking a drink. So you want to highlight those unique spaces and storytell around them. You could also do it in the form of a blog post. Next, do you have a space that offers dramatic or some cinematic backdrops? Those pull back wow photos. These are the type of photos that should be on your hero image on your website. So that's like kind of that header image, the largest image on your website, and also your featured photo on your wedding wire and knot profiles. Because these are the type of image that grabs attention and just shows the full grandeur of your venue. So make sure you're highlighting those in those 2 spaces. Next, are you showcasing enough diversity? Couples need to imagine themselves in your space. And if you don't have any images that show, let's say, a same-sex wedding or different ethnicities, they might not be able to imagine their self in your space. And that's a whole market that you're not tapped into. That includes spaces. Are you diverse in the spaces that you're highlighting? If you're only highlighting your indoor ceremony spaces, but you want to show that you can also do outdoor ceremonies, you need to show it in visual form. Couples need to see it if you want to sell it. That's something to remember. They need to visualize it. You have to show them the product in order for them to buy. Next, what are your 3 show-stopping weddings? I mean, they flew in the floors from Italy. Maybe not Italy, but they flew in, maybe a photographer that does an amazing job and they did floral that's over the top. Make sure these type of weddings are highlighted prominently on your website and also your social media. Maybe the last time you had a wedding like that was 2 years ago. That's okay. Bring back that photo. At this point, it's kind of buried in your Instagram. Bring that back so that couple, that high-end couple, knows that they can come to your venue and transform your space. This wedding, these photos that you see right now is from a wedding from, I can tell the couple right off the bat, Diamond and Kirby, because I use these photos a lot. And they really transformed this space. This is not a typical wedding that we would have at this space. And you want to show those high-end brides that you can come to our space and transform it. In order to do that, you have to showcase these type of weddings. So those were my 5 questions. So I hope your mind is turning and you're thinking of all the different photos and spaces that you have. Another thing that I found that venues have had a hard time with is organizing all of these photos. You don't got any more space on Dropbox or Google Drive. What I use, and a tool that I want to share with you guys, is called SmugMug. You can upload unlimited photos. You can make an album for whatever wedding that you're wanting to upload. And one beautiful thing about SmugMug is that you can keyword and you can tag your photos. So for example, this is a photo uploaded from Kendall and Alex's wedding. I uploaded all the photos that I selected from the photographer. And then I keyworded select photos with words that I would attach to the photo. So I keyworded ceremony and the loft. The loft is one of their ceremony spaces. Now, what's beautiful is that I can go into SmugMug, I could search the loft, and every photo that I have tagged as the loft comes up. Amazing. So you don't have to go album after album trying to find photos. This is a great search tool that you can use. Another thing that could help you or your social media team is highlighting things like mother-daughter. So for example, when Mother's Day came around, I didn't have to go through a million albums to get mother-daughter photos. I was able to come into SmugMug, type mother-daughter, and then bam, I got all of those photos. So that's a great tool. If you guys scan that QR code, you can get a free trial and see if that works for you. But yes, you can put unlimited photos, make albums, and do keywords, which I love. So we just chatted, and I'll also have these links towards the end of this presentation too, if you missed that. So we chatted about how to identify your top marketing photos. Now we need to get a plan for how to acquire them, because I know it's very hard chasing down photographers for your photos and failing because they're ghosting you, you don't hear back from them. Here are my 5 tips for acquiring your top marketing photos. Number 1, create photographer partnership agreements. Number 2, guide your style photo shoots. 3, partnering with content creators. 4, what I like to call the blog hack. And then lastly, automated follow-ups. So create photographer partnership agreements. Do you know that as venues, you guys have all of the power in the wedding industry? You have all the infinity stones. You have the ring because you have access to the coveted preferred vendor list. And as you know, all the vendors want to be on it, especially the photographers. But for photographers to be on part of your vendor list, they need to partner with you. So for one of my clients, we've had a hard time sometimes getting photos back from photographers. So we created what we call our photographer partnership agreement. It's a non-binding document, but it highlights what we expect from photographers. So we have things in there like have great communication, value the client experience. But one line that we put in there on purpose is image sharing. And it says, please be sure to share your images with our team. Your images are vital to our marketing efforts. Sharing your images will also give you additional exposure as we use them across our online profiles. So we are communicating, this is important to us. The photos that you give us are important. We use it for our marketing. And they get so much benefits being part of your list. They get a marketing channel being part of your list. And when you post photos, they get exposure. So they should be partnering with you. And do not sleep on videographers. I know there's an emphasis on photography, but video is going to be increasingly important in our industry. And I have a little story to tell you. We had a videographer. His name is Ashton Oak, and he came to our venue. He did a wedding, and then we got this DM on our Instagram. And towards the end of the DM, it says, "I'll send the link for the preview so you can take a look. I've also edited a small collection of clips of the venue that you're welcome to use in whatever way best helps you." Guys, I almost cried. That is a partner. That is someone that is helping us market ourselves. These are the type of people that you want on your list. So consider creating a photographer partnership list. I have a template here that was made on Canva that will be at the end of the presentation that you guys can take and edit any way that you'd like. And then let your photographers know that you'll be reviewing and reevaluating each year. You're watching them. Don't let them take it for granted. Make sure you're building a partnership with people that are helping you sell as well. Next, guide your styled photo shoots. Obviously, you want to consider your best photograph spaces. Event planners and photographers, they're going to want to take photos at your spots that photograph the best. But if you want to start selling more outdoor weddings, or if there's a space that's newly renovated and you want to get photos of, take control of that. Ask them, hey, can we get like a setup over here? Can we get the bride and groom in this space? We'd like to sell that more. Conversely, yeah, make sure that you are highlighting those spaces that you need photographed. And also diversity. If you want to tap into certain markets, ask your planner or photographer that's running the shoot. We'd love to get a model that's same sex. We'd love to get more diversity because we want to tap into this market. So take control of those style shoots at your venue. Next up is content creators, new kids on the block. Consider adding this vendor to your preferred list because they get it. They understand how to capture content in a way that's different from other vendors. So your photographers and your videographers, they are capturing content to sell their services. Content creators have two goals. Yes, they're wanting to sell their services, but they're also wanting their content to go viral. They want to get a lot of eyeballs on it. That's a little bit of the reason why couples at times choose a content creator. And that means more exposure for you guys. For example, and this is something new I've added to my presentation, is at the Howey Mansion, we had a groom that had to remind himself to kiss the bride. They were saying he was so excited that he forgot to kiss the bride. A content creator captured that image, that video. The video went viral and was highlighted in People magazine. And guess who else was highlighted in People magazine? Our venue. So there, the Howey Mansion was also highlighted when this happened. So that's just the added benefit of having content creators on your list. And what's also great about them is that they have a relatively quick turnaround. So you don't have to wait 2, 3, 4 weeks to get photos back. They should have it to you in about a week. Bonus tip, this is something that we are doing at one of the venues that I work with. Many of you are having open houses. I saw to the right that for the summer, some of you are working on that. What we're doing is we're inviting content creators to our space and we're telling them, hey, come for the evening. We're doing an open house. We'd love for you to get content for our venue. In exchange, we're going to give your information to all of the couples that attend. And we would like two things: for you to give us the videos that you take, and also we want you to highlight that video on your social media. You could do it in photo form, video form, it doesn't matter. We just want to make sure that we're highlighted on your space. So that's a win for them and a win for us because now we're having content that we just created and we're having exposure on their Instagram that has 5, 6, 8. A lot of these content creators have a lot of followers. So really think about adding them to your preferred list. Next is what I call the blog hack. This is what I use when I'm running a little bit low on content. I'll go into Google and then I can see all of the different blogs or any videos that have been posted about the venues that I work with. So I put in the name of the venue. In this example, it's Casa Feliz. Always put in the name of your venue and wedding so you can get wedding content. And then you can go to tools on Google and you're able to see anytime when your venue was mentioned in the last week, month, year. And then you can scroll down and see every videographer that has posted about your wedding, any photographer, and you'd be surprised to see how much content is out there that you just literally have never searched. So again, that is on Google. And another note about this, if you have photographers that are constantly blogging about you, those are photographers that you want to consider having on your list because them blogging about you is bringing backlinks to your website. So you want to work with photographers that are boosting your SEO. So something else to consider, look into photographers that actively blog. And then lastly, automated follow-ups. So I know a lot of time we're reaching out to photographers through email, but Instagram also has a way to create saved replies. So I have two different saved replies. One's for photographers and one for couples. And for saved replies, basically you can just kind of start writing. Once you've created the saved reply, you can start writing the first few sentences and it'll pop up. So you just click twice and then bam, it goes out to whoever you are messaging. So for photographers, it says, "We absolutely love the photos you just posted. Are you able to send them to us?" Give the email, we'll repost them and tag you. Photographers like to be tagged. You got to talk their language. Couples, we absolutely love the photos you just posted. Are you able to send it to us? We'd love to feature your wedding because couples love to be featured. So I have found so much more success reaching out through Instagram rather than email. So that's something you can consider. And I have a whole tutorial about how to create saved replies at the end of the presentation. Now, wrapping up, utilizing your photos for traffic and engagement. How to get those results that I shared with you an example. I'll show you exactly what we did. I will show you the good stuff. And this is specifically, again, your wedding profiles, your website, and your social media. Those are the three places that you really need to take a strategic look of how you're presenting your photos. So for your wedding profiles, there's two things I want you to do, and I hope you can do it by the end of this week. Be strategic and take a critical look at your featured photo. And then number two, take a strategic look at your first 10 photos. So as I mentioned for Tavares Pavilion, we did an overhaul. We saw 59% more clicks to their website, and this is what we did. The before photo, as you can see, is highlighting just the venue. It's a little cold only because there's not a couple there, but it is a very beautiful shot. The after photo, however, we're still highlighting what makes Tavares Pavilion unique. They're a lakeside wedding venue. So you can see the lake, but it also touches upon another thing that people really like when they come to Tavares, which is their grand staircase. So we found that this photo performed a lot better than the before photo. And that's what you need to think. You really need to look at your featured photo and think, would I click into this wedding venue? Would I want to learn more? If it's just a photo, a close-up photo of a couple, for example, that's not highlighting your space. So make sure your space is highlighted and that we are using those cinematic pullback photos. Another thing we did is we looked at the first 10 photos that we were highlighting and we made sure they were our top marketing photos. We went through those same questions in our mind. What are our top, what makes our venue unique? What are spaces that people love to be photographed at? And those are the images that we've put in the first top 10. So as you could see a little closer, these were some of the images before. And as a couple is clicking from image to image to image, if they don't see anything exciting within the next 10 minutes, 10 images, they're moving on. The images now show places on the property that draw couples in, that people like to be photographed at. Even the idea of diversity. We have a diverse couple within the first 10 photos. So make sure you're doing that. Another thing to do is make sure your ratio of venue photos versus couple or any other type of photo is 60-40. 60% venue, 40% couple. And then lastly, track your progress at least every quarter, because right now, like I mentioned, this image is performing very well. In the next few months, try another image and see if there's a difference. Now for your website. So that was your wedding profiles for your website. Two things I want you to do. Do a photo audit. Click through your website, look through your photos, make sure the photos are updated. And then number two, make sure your file names and your alt tags are SEO friendly. So this is Legacy Farms. I mentioned we did an overhaul of the photos. People are spending more time on the website, 11% more time. They're viewing our gallery, 76% more views on the gallery, and then 4% more leads. And for you not to be paying any extra money to get these results is amazing. And you do have the power to do that. So think, do your hero images highlight your cinematic photos? As we mentioned, those are the photos that should be on the hero header images of your website, those cinematic photos. Next is your venue to other photo ratio 60/40. If there's nothing else that you get in terms of how to utilize your photos, you need to get this. 60% of your photos should be highlighting your venue, and a little bit less should be highlighting couples and other things, because you have to highlight and market what you want to sell. So when you're posting a lot of couples photos, you're not actually communicating what you sell. So pay attention to that. And then review your website photos every quarter. Maybe you had a fabulous wedding last month. That wedding should be highlighted on your website. Don't let it be a year or two before you update your website photos. And so you can see, as before, when I mentioned highlighting couples, this was their gallery. So you see a couple photo, and another couple photo, which is great. It's very nice to highlight couples, but you really want to highlight your space. So we completely overhauled that. And as you can see, beautiful photos of the space. Still have the couple, but mostly the space can be seen. Next up, you want to make sure your file names and your alt text are SEO friendly. Some of you might not be working on your website, but go to your web person and just make sure that they are doing SEO best practices when it comes to your keywords. So you shouldn't be making all of your file names best Orlando venue, most affordable Orlando venue. The file names need to highlight what is going on in the actual photo. So it can be lakeside wedding ceremony, Florida outdoor wedding reception. And that is going to be a lot more palpable for Google because that is what they're wanting to see. They're wanting to scan the photo and see what's in the photo. And we did this overhaul of the file names and alt text for Casa Feliz. That's another venue I work with. And they saw 25% more website traffic. So please take your time, chat with your web person, and make sure your file names are SEO friendly. Then lastly, social media. The tweak that we did to see this change, we saw 60% more interaction. That means people were sharing more, saving more, 27% reach, 27% more reach, and 45% more clicks on the website. And what did we do? This is a ratio to not forget. We flipped the content from 60 to 60% more, 60% venue photos, 40% other. So as you can see here, couple photo, this was the actual feed. And there's couple photo after couple photo. Whereas now we're highlighting the space. It is a tweak that really is going to make a difference for your social media marketing. So those are the one thing that I mentioned, make sure your photos are 60/40. Another thing to do is make sure you have venue focused reels, but I'll get into the 60/40 at first. Rethink your photos on social media. This is the same wedding. These are the same couples. To the left, you have a close-up couple. You have a close-up photo of a couple, but to the right, you can see the space. The space is being highlighted. To the left, you have the dip of a groom kissing his bride. It kind of makes you go, "Aw, that's cute." The one to the right makes you go, "Wow, where are they? What is that? What is that? That venue looks very cool in the back." You're wanting to highlight the space. Again, this is a close-up video of a reception table. To the right, you can see the space. So you just really want to dive into the idea of showing your space. And just one rule of thumb that I kind of use is at any given time when you're looking at your Instagram, you're going to see 12 photos on the grid. Make sure 6 or more of those photos are of your venue. So these are my clients' before and after grids. So you see before, a lot of photos that you're not really seeing the space. And now in the after photos, you can see the actual reception spaces, ceremony spaces. This is another client that they heavily used graphics. And again, you weren't seeing too many venue spaces, only four. And then after, we have over six photos highlighting the space. And you're going to collaborate. Your grid's going to change every once in a while, but this is a good rule of thumb. Make sure six or more are present. And then next is, like I mentioned, reel focused or venue focused reels. It's fantastic to have videos that are highlighting different couples and highlighting their wedding and different moments, but you don't want to lose sight of what you are marketing, which is your venue. So here are some different reels that I've done for different clients. POV, you found the perfect all-inclusive wedding venue in Tennessee, and then it highlights different venue spaces. In this reel, it says, you got married at a historic mansion in Florida. So this reel was actually different photos of different, spaces at the Howey Mansion. This other one says views from the Legacy Farms Event Center. And what we did is highlighted different reception setups at Legacy Farms. And then lastly, in this one I'll show you, it says, spoiler alert, your guests will talk about these views long after your last dance. And I'll show you that video really quick. So that's just a quick clip of that video, but we're communicating to the couple that wants a lakeside wedding, that cares about what her guests are going to go, what their guests are going to experience and feel at their wedding. So that's why these reels are so important, because you're highlighting and marketing your space. And your content matters. So the more that you're putting out video content specifically that's highlighting your space, that is the more traffic that you're getting to your brand. So 15,000 views, 41,000, 65,000 views, some of these reels collectively are getting. So make sure you are doing real video content and make sure you're highlighting your space. So in conclusion, make sure you determine your venue's top marketing photos, go through those 5 questions and implement those photos across your different platforms. Implement a photo collection process to make the flow of photos steady for yourself and for your marketing team. Remember the 60/40 rule across your website, your social, and your wedding profiles, and you will get more traffic and more leads guaranteed. Thank you.
All right, Chantel, amazing. Even the presentation today, from what I heard a few months ago, I was a director of a Fortune 500 company. Also, our venue has been in business for 14 years. There are pieces that you can still take back of what you taught today, that will even help my own business here, at Madera Estates. So, one thing I took away, SEO, make sure those photos are SEO friendly. Also, content matters so much. So really, really, I think it was smart to say, take that photo that's performing well, try another photo, really go back and research what's doing well. So amazing, Chantel. Thank you so much. What I wanted to do, if you have any questions for Chantel, and I'm going to help direct these questions to her, put them in our comments, in the chat section, and I'm able to read those over, and we can go over some questions for some Q&A.
Chantel, will you put the screen with the QR code back up, and we can leave it?
Yes, I actually will send you the link, because I have a link that shows
Thank you.
has all the resources, and you'll get the presentation slides and everything. So let me get that for you.
I see a lot of friendly faces today too there that joined us for today's Power Hour. That was amazing, Chantel.
Yeah.
As Paul said, it was so good.
Yeah, especially the tip that we took for our own business is Smug Mug.
I've had several people reach out about Smug Mug.
On the tour side, I give all of our tours. My husband is my backup to that. The question I get a lot of time is, what does Madera Estates look like at Christmas? What does Madera Estates look like if I do a boho vibe? I love that I now can go in and just search those keywords, and it's going to pull up those photos for me. And for me as a salesperson, that gives me, that really frees up my time than spending all this time digging and digging and digging through our photos. So that is a game changer just with time saving for us. And
Nice.
for my couples. So, all right, let's look. Any questions? And again, Chantel has put up her link there. Okay. So from Jenny, my hotel is mostly a conference hotel. And the feedback we get is that the couples don't want a corporate vibe. As a hotel that is trying to get back into the wedding market and a lack of recent photos of weddings, do you have any advice on what photos to share and what could be a good strategy?
I would definitely say plan a style shoot. And that can be, you can work with a planner to do that, a photographer, and maybe there's a level of, hey, you could be potentially be one of our preferred vendors. But like I said, couples need to see it for you to sell it. So if they can't imagine it if you don't have any visuals to go with it. So work with a planner, work with a photographer, and see if you can put together a styled shoot.
Great, good, great point. Ginny, does that hopefully that answers some questions and inspires. Another question from Ginny, are empty spaces a turnoff?
I would say it's not that they're a turn off, it's hard for couples to imagine. So if you just have an empty space and you haven't set it up in any way, it's hard for a couple to imagine themselves planning a wedding there. That's why you're gonna have to dial into the visuals by doing some level of a style shoot. And if for some reason you just really couldn't get that, you couldn't do something like that, I mean, I guess you could do Chat GPT or some type of AI to imagine what a wedding there could look like. I'm sure there's something you can do on AI that way, but I would really um, encourage you to do a style shoot.
Great. And then that's what she said. She was going to ask about some AI.
Oh, okay. You're welcome.
Yeah, and what I have found in our industry, there's so many creative people that even at Madera States, if we have a roadblock for vision, bring in another creative person. They may see outside of what you're thinking, if you're stuck too. So
Yes.
style shoots, big help on that.
One.
Any other questions for Chantel today? All right. Well, Chantel, thank you so much. I was so excited when I found out that you were going to be a part of our Power Hour. Just know, especially as everyone is learning about Venue Help Desk, we do these Power Hours monthly. You can always find out more information on venuehelpdesk.com. I'm actually going to drop a link to about details for next month's Power Hour. Please join us in that as well. Again, questions, you can always email hello@venuehelpdesk.com. We're always happy between myself, Shannon, and Ian to help with those questions, especially for our experts like Chantel, if we can ever throw those questions to those helpers that are in our field as well, as we go about the day-to-day of venue ownership, venue management, and being a venue pro. So again, thank you so much, Chantel. Thank you for everyone joining us, and we look forward to seeing everyone next month for our next Power Hour.
All right.
Bye. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks everyone for joining.